As you guys are climbing back on, is anybody here celebrating anything today?
It's my birthday
like
today.
a birthday?
Yep.
Your birthday?
Yep.
Happy birthday, young man. I keep records of people here on my Tram celebrating special events. So you got your birthday. Is anybody celebrating anything else, like an anniversary? Long-awaited divorce? Just checking. Sir, I do keep records, so let me get some information from you, if I may, please.
All right.
Just your first name, if you'll write it down for me. The month, day, and year you got married. I got when you.
Come on.
I'm thinking love, you know. So, when you were born, okay? Does that work?
Yeah. That's,
Leaving the parking lot, gonna go through the
it's like,
into the breezeway.
Yeah, we're celebrating life.
Are you?
Yeah.
I have a gift for you too, sir. Go ahead and jump on, sir, and I'll move that bitch in a second. As you guys down in the breezeway, I was telling you it's my first day. It's not. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but I've done this a couple of times before. I do keep records. I'm the only tour guide that does. For example, you guys make the 1,247th time I've driven through Dogwood. I've taken through the park 25,856 people. In addition to that, 3,271 children. Along the lines of birthdays, I've had 217 prior to you, sir, here on your birthday. That's a total of 10,340 years of life. The average person here on the birthday is 48 years of age. The oldest is 98 here on his birthday. The youngest was 15 days. Those are the extremes of the birthdays. Now, along the lines of marriage, I've had 243 couples here on their anniversary. That's 7,003 years of marriage. Now, marriage is a daily commitment, so that means 2,556,095 days of continued commitment. Notice I didn't say stay in love, just commitment, okay? The average couple here is celebrating their 29th wedding anniversary. I've had a couple on my Tram at 69 years of marriage. That's the longest marriage. I've also had 23 honeymooners on my Tram. The shortest marriage, 18 hours. Yeah, they got married in Branson the night before, and they were here first up on the honeymoon. Now, how ironic. Birthday boy, they were sitting right where you were, that anniversary couple, and he was sitting right where you are. When we got to the chapel, they opted to stay on the Tram. They didn't want to go in the chapel. When we came back out, he had leaned his head against the pole, and he was sound asleep. She had leaned her head against him, and she was sound asleep. And they slept through the whole Tram. What a waste of money. Now, in addition to that, that 15-day-old baby boy that was on the Tram, he slept through the Tram as well. And that 98-year-old man, he slept as well. So you want to stay away from those extremes. Now, I have a gift. All those people, that wide range, I've given a gift, all the same gift to all of them. Not one person has said it was an inappropriate gift. Plus, I've had 5 proposals on my Tram. They get the same gift as them as well. So as I go to get that gift for my birthday boy back there, you guys think about it. What kind of gift could I give to fit a 15-day-old baby, a 98-year-old man, a couple on a honeymoon, and a couple 69 years of marriage? Are you ready? Let me bring you a little gift here. I personally believe everybody in the world can use a little Jesus in their life. Yeah. Does that work? Is that appropriate? See, you guys agree. I do have 3 bosses in my life. The man upstairs that takes care of everything. I even let you pick your own color, sir. How's that? Grab you one in there.
thank you.
There you go. Then I have another man upstairs who calls all my shots. Then I have one at home. She's pretty doggone close to the one upstairs. And then my third boss is not the people in the building up front. It's actually you guys. I am retired, guys. This is my hobby. I love doing this, and I work at least 5 days a week. I'm full time.
Wow.
Now, I know I always love to give little Jesus to angels, so would you like one too? There, reach in there, grab you one, any color you want. Young man, do you want one? You got that romantic side going. You throw a little bit with this, with that, and you'll be good to go for life. Does anybody else need a little Jesus in her life? You need a little too?
I need a little Jesus.
You got a lot there, huh? Okay. Oh, and she needs it too, huh? So does she really need a little? Maybe she get two.
Thank you.
Let me give you a couple there. Grab your favorite color, okay? There you go. You got it. That's good? All right. Are you guys ready to head up and see what the rest got going on in Dogwood? You want one too. I guess she needs a little Jesus too, huh? Okay. A lot. Okay. Guys, let's head on up into Dogwood here.
Sheridan Joe, we just came up there, Jen. Is there any way you can wait for me there?
We have another tram coming up, so we're going to hold here, but I will give you a little bit more information while we're doing it. We are driving right alongside of Little Indian. That's to our left. Now, if you follow Little Indian up, you'll see it goes up here, turns left. Now, where it goes left, it goes back into Little Indian Canyon. And Little Indian Canyon is where our horse corral is. That's back there in the back. Now, we have a 24 state-of-the-art horse corrals back there, and all of our horses have their own corral. They also have their own feeding trough. They also have their own water trough. And the buildings we'll see in the front, those are storage. The corral itself is further back. We do offer horseback riding each day. It is nose to tail. And when you go on that horseback riding, you're actually going onto the land that we've added after that original purchase. Most of it is over there. And we are using that land over there for conservation and preservation. Now we'll let Mr. JR get by here. Now all of our wranglers back there, they are all girls except for one. We only have one male wrangler. Now that's back there. Wranglers are who take care of your horses. And our male wrangler, he has been assigned permanent shovel duty. Now, we're getting ready to cross Dogwood Creek for the first time. Now Dogwood officially ends right here where it dumps in Little Indian, but we are going upstream. So we're going to have Dogwood Creek at our right or our left, pretty much the rest of our tram ride together. Guys, our hiking trails are going to be pretty muddy today, so I don't know that I would recommend it, but I will point out some of them for you. This one is 1.2 miles. You climb about 250 feet from there, goes across the park and drops down by our chuck wagon up the road. Now, right here at your right, see this sign? That is where that self-guided fishing ends. From here to the end of the park, it is guided fishing only. Our guides will take you out for 4 hours, and that costs $250. But in that 4 hours, even if you've never fished before in your life, you're going to catch between 12 and 70. Now that is kiss and release only. Notice our cave up there on the right, which is perfect for black bears and mountain lions. Absolutely perfect. That's up there on your right. Now you are in Missouri, and we are the cave state. How did we get that title? Well, we have over 7,000 registered caves in our state. We have 77 caves that are over a mile deep. We also have 270 miles underground of caves. Now I've got my 2 screamers on the front tram, and you are the ladies supposed to be watching for my animals, right? All right, I'm going to give you a list of the animals that you need to watch for. Okay, memorize this list. We have chipmunks, squirrels, groundhogs, rabbits, raccoons, skunks, armadillos, possum, muskrats, minks, river otter, beaver, elk, deer, red fox, gray fox, coyotes, bobcats, mountain lions, and black bear. Now, some of those animals we won't see today, like the mountain lion and the black bear. All the rest of them are possible. Obviously, some of them a lot more likely than others. Now, I do plan on talking about the black bear for you guys today. Now, this is a little bit of an education, also a nice photo spot for you as well. See that water as it's going over the road? That is called a weir. W-E-I-R. And we throw the S because we got a lot of them. Weirs. W-E-I-R-S. Now, obviously, we use that to cross our streams, but they're mainly there for our trout. Trout have to have air in the water in order for them to thrive. If there is no air in the water, trout will suffocate, which is equivalent of drowning. So here in Dogwood, we add as much air we can for our trout. See that foam in the bottom? That is where we are mixing the air and the water together. That air stays trapped in the water, travels downstream, and the trout will consume that as it moves through the water. The two factors for trout growth: one, air supply; number two, food supply. Here in Dogwood, we let nature feed our trout for the most part, except for two spots: once when I feed them, and once when you feed them. Now, we'll be doing that up the road. That natural habitat up there, that's where they will breed, and that's where they will thrive above. Now, when they thrive, there's another weir above them, and that feeds the air in there. And you'll see that throughout Dogwood. Our animals, you see how that rock wall is there on the top where it's kind of smooth? Our animals like to use that to cross from one side of the stream to the other. So you can watch that above weir for those animals. See that bright green stuff on the bottom? Kind of looks like clover. That is watercress. Watercress is what a lot of high-end restaurants use for their salads. That's a very strong pepper taste. It is high in vitamin C, also part of the mustard green family. All right, ladies, you have that list memorized? I'm going to give you another list here, okay? We do have a lot of birds here in Dogwood, so not all of our birds are in the trees. Look for owls and hawks, roadrunners. We have a lot of roadrunners. They run right alongside of our trams. We also have woodpeckers, great blue heron, belted kingfishers, robins, and cardinals. We also have the eastern bluebird. We have the crow, the wild turkey, the turkey vulture. Guys, that is the buzzard. And here in Dogwood, we have 2 active bald eagle nests. That means we do have quite a few bald eagles that call Dogwood home. Should see some trout here on the left-hand side. We pull up here. Now, remember I said not to stand up while I'm driving. I'm in the park. Yes, you got it. Matter of fact, I recommend it. Oh, we'll try. It's their house. Guys, remember the slow motion video I was telling you about? This is one you want on slow motion video. Are you ready? Let's throw a handful out here. Let's see how hungry these guys are. Now, did you catch them going up on the road? I'm going to throw some more. This time I'm going to try to get it closer to the road. That way we do get some more of those trout up on the road. You ready to check this out? There we go. Got a couple of them up there pretty good. These are all rainbow trout. Now, if you guys remember me telling you, see, I'm not allowed to let you guys feed them here, but I am a grandfather. Now, did you notice some of them go up on the road? Well, sometimes they don't make it back. You know what happens to those? We have excellent trout food up in our restaurant. No, just kidding. They actually go overboard all the way to the other side. You want to see what that looks like? We throw a handful out here for you, all right? Ready? Here we go.
Whoa. They were right there waiting for it.
Oh yeah, they know. These are perfect size for the bald eagles, which we'll talk about up the road, all right? Grab a seat, we'll head on up. Now, back there at the chapel, I told you we have 50 to 75 weddings this year. We also have weddings up here on the left-hand side. Now, this is actually where Johnny Morris's oldest daughter, Megan, got married. And this is also where I've had 5 couples step off my tram and propose and say yes. So this is called Thunder Falls. Now, we've had a lot of renewals here and weddings, and the reason people use this for their weddings and for their proposals is because of the symbolism. Now, I'll stop here and let you guys see and explain to you what that symbolism means. There is 2 waterfalls back there, and they are independent of each other. Now, the one on the left, that represents the bride. The one on the right, that represents the groom. Now, at some point, those 2 independent lives, they fall in love, get married, creating a lifetime together. Now, ladies, I heard each of you doing a little bit, but let's do it together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah, how romantic, huh? All right, now, men, I didn't hear any men joining in on that romantic part, so I'm going to help you men out. How the Native Americans that resided here years ago, how they said, I love you to their spouse, wapate. Wapate. Men, memorize that. Take it home with you. See if it changes your luck once in a while. Wapate. We had a film crew come back through here back in 1994, and they made a movie here in Dogwood. They called that movie Ozarks, Legends and Legacies. Then they took that movie from here to the IMAX Theater in Branson. That was 31 years ago. Well, they continue to show that video almost every day, and that is by popular demand and request. One of the things that they focus on in that video is coming right up here on your right. Now, I am going to stop in this water, all right? If you would like to stand up to get a video, you are welcome to do that. This is one of those cool slow motion. I won't move until everybody has reseated, all right? And I may need my screamers to help me when that time comes, all right? So we'll pull up here. I'll stop. You guys can take that video. It'll be right there to you guys. Oh, that's right there. Did you just point at a cardinal? All right. Was it a male or a female? Was it bright red? It is a male. All right. Now, let me help you out here. The rule is you're never ever supposed to point at a cardinal. You'll run them away. Did you know that? Show me where it is. Don't point, don't point.
Got her. Don't point,
You know,
don't
that is a
point.
wise tale here from the Ozarks. That if you pointed at a cardinal, they will fly away, and you won't see them again. So, anyways, so we're not going to see any more cardinals here today. Thank you. I'm just kidding. I'm
He's
just
to your
kidding.
left on the branch.
Oh, you got some over there, huh?
Where?
Actually,
Well, now he's gone.
now he's gone. I pointed over that way, so did he. So, actually, I want you guys to notice we have, as I was pulling away from the breezeway, I told you we have 32 freshwater streams here in Dogwood. Now, if you look to your left, you'll see one of those 32 freshwater streams coming
Somebody
right from
dropped an
underground
umbrella.
there. And that's a whole bunch more of that watercress as well. We are coming up to our chuck wagon. Now, our chuck wagon is something we use all the time for all kinds of stuff. Today, we've got several buses here, and there are groups up here eating. They're having their lunch here. We also have some concerts here, guys, and we've had some amazing musicians here in the past. How would you guys feel if we were pulling up today and we listened and we heard Johnny Cash back there playing for us? Wouldn't that be
great.
cool?
That'd be cool.
Guys, that would actually be scary today, but it's still be pretty cool. We've had Waylon Jennings there as a guest. Guys, along the lines of guests, we've had former President George Bush Sr. there. Recently, we had Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his entire racing team there. Here's some of the wildlife here in the park. We named him Virgil. Now, if you guys are careful, he'll wave at you.
At least the rain stopped.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, guys, we've had all kinds of people there as guests. Now, that 1.2 miles I was talking to you about, that's right here. This is where it comes out. Boy, I can smell that food back there. That's mean, huh? Another hiking trail, that's here to your left. Now, this one is a total of 3/4 of a mile. That is out and back, so less than a half mile each way. Now, a nice photo coming here on your left, guys. Now, it's right up the stream. It's in one of those cool weirs that's to your left. Now, if you'd like to take a photo, I'm going to roll slow. So if you want to capture a photo of that, it's just pretty cool. Now, if I need to stop, just hold your hands up, and I'll stop for a couple seconds. I'll wait a couple seconds, then I'll roll on. I want you guys to make sure you get a good picture of it. Now, our most popular hiking trail was actually right by where we started. That was right by our treehouse up front. Now, recently, by the way, it's most popular because it's only a half mile. It's a loop. And we recently kind of gave it a facelift. We cleaned it up, added some signs, and then about halfway through it, we did find a burial in the trees. Now, the burial is not of Native Americans. It's actually a burial of the settlers that were here from years ago. So we added a sign up there so you can actually identify that burial. They buried the settlers many years ago quite a bit different than they bury them from today. So it might be interesting for you guys to get up there and check it out. Now, this is our power line cave, and it does go back into the mountain right about 90 feet deep, and it is a freshwater cave. And I love kids. I think you guys have already grasped that thing. So I always like to ask my kids questions. So, sir, you look a little too mature, so we're going to shift over to the little girl. Young lady, right now I have critters in my cave. Would you like to guess what they are? Look in there. See, what do you think? What do you think we got in our cave right now?
Bats.
Oh, listen to all my kids on the tram. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they stole it, didn't they? You knew anyways, right? Yeah, I figured you did. They're hanging out in there. We have two kinds of bats, little brown bat and the Mexican free-tail bat. Now, they are only about the size of a mouse. They are really small. Their wings do make them look a lot bigger than they are. But every night, When the sun goes down, all of those bats come flying out of that one point. It's cool to see that happen. Well, they spread throughout the park here and eat insects. They're going to eat their entire body weight overnight, guys, of insects, which is about 5,000 to 6,000 insects. And their favorite insect is mosquitoes. We love our bats because they love mosquitoes. Bats do hibernate, guys, during the wintertime. They're going to leave that cave and they're going to go try to find a warmer spot to hibernate. Now they'll travel 60 miles to find it. The most common place they hibernate is your attic. Yeah, that's the most common place they hibernate. Now, once a brown bat finds your attic, every year they're going to go back to the same house to hibernate another year. And the life expectancy of a little brown bat is 30 years. So, if you're lucky enough to get a little brown bat in your attic, you're going to have Christmas guests for the next 30 years. Now, you don't need to send them an invitation. They're just going to show up. Also, don't worry about buying them a gift. They don't care about the gifts. They're fine. Now, here's the cool thing. When they finally leave your home, go back to their cave, they will leave a parting gift for you. Here's a rock formation that is all over the Ozarks. And it's important that you understand it. You see this dirt rock and sediment on the edge? How that gets there, this rock is hollow. It's calcite and limestone. When it rains, water soaks through the rocks, eventually getting trapped down low. Then as the water pushes out, that's how all the dirt rocks and sediment get on the edge like that. Well, over an extended period of time, each of those cracks, they get weakened. By the way, each of those cracks is called a table. Well, those tables, they're weakened because the water washes all the support away. Then people step on that, and the whole thing can come crashing down. You can see where all kinds of chunks have fallen over the years. So be careful climbing on that. Now, since those cracks are called table, that helps you to understand how we got the name Table Rock Lake, not far from us. Straight ahead of us, this is the most significant archaeological find here in all of Dogwood. Back in the early 90s, so when Johnny Morris first got the property, he was up there on that ledge exploring it. Now, he was looking for Native American artifacts. Johnny Morris owns more Native American artifacts than anybody else in the country. He shares those with us in a lot of his museums. Well, that's what he was up there looking for. But as he got towards the end here, he inadvertently unearthed 3 more sets of human remains. So, Johnny Morris loves history. So just like the ones up front, he sent those out for carbon dating as well. And he got a shock. Because one of those came back with a carbon date on it of 6,000 BC. That means those human remains were over 8,000 years old when they were discovered. Now, I told you he was looking for artifacts. He found them. Pottery, jewelry, axe handles, spearheads, all items that a Native American would say was household goods. He sent all those out together as well. Now, those came back with a small window when it comes to carbon dating. That small window was only 400 years. It was 800 to 1200 BC. Now, what that told us is for about that 400 years, most likely a Native American family lived up there on that cliff up there. And that's why we call that our Great Spirit Rock Shelter, because of that old human remains that we found in there. Now we are coming up to our kids' cave. That's up here on your left. Now, this one is a freshwater cave, which means we do have fresh water coming out of it. The cave itself does go back in 200 feet deep. Now, the sign itself, that's where the cave goes in, so you'll see the rest of it looks pretty cool, but the cave itself, the sign is pointing right towards the cave entry. Now, we call it a cave because the cave never gets over 8.5 feet tall. That's how we gave the kids' cave name. Now, way back on your right is our fire pit cave. Now this cave, it goes in 100 feet deep. It's a dry cave. In the floor of that cave, we found all kinds of fire pits, a lot of them. Now in those fire pits, we did find well-preserved charcoal, estimated to be 3,000 years old. That's pretty rare. Also a variety of cooking utensils, including turtle shells that they were using as plates to eat out of. Also, all the way in the back of the cave, we found these cracks in the top of the cave. And when we looked in the cracks, they were full of smoke stains. That explained to us why there were so many fire pits in there, because those cracks worked just like a chimney in our own homes. And that's why the Native Americans used that for so many of their fire pits. Guys, this is the bathroom break we've been waiting for. Well, yes, we're a nature park, so pick your spots wisely. We do have accessories for you, like she pointed out right away. I'm trying to make you guys feel excited about the availability of porta potties. Does it working? We do have porta potties available. They're right up there at the top of the hill, guys. So take advantage of that if you need to do that. This is where we're going to go feed our trout. All right, this is where you're going to go feed the trout. We're only going to be here about 5 or 6 minutes, so it's not a long time, guys. Watch for me when you see me coming back to the tram. Come back with me. That'll mean it's time to head up the road. All right, let's go ahead and step off. I'll grab that step stool for you.
It's real pretty here.
These are the big trout.
Big.
This is, yeah, they only like 4 or 5 people.
Changed our
have been
mind,
in the
huh?
picture. I think it was Kid Rock, one of the presidents. Okay. The Bush, seemed like Waylon Jennings.
Here you go, sir. You're very welcome.
You gonna step off or?
This got a pretty good lip on it here. Walk in. Yep, yes, sir. Straight up the hill to the left. You're very welcome.
Yeah, you walk up there. Up the hill? Yeah.
Where are you going? I thought he was kidding.
No, it's just right around the corner. How are you?
Because I'm a slow walker, I'm just gonna stay on the tram and then just record this, like. Well, I'm just feeling a little bit tired. Pretty birds. Good. Come fight over here and eat the mosquitoes over here. Just really blending in. Wow. Oh, I said no music. Those are relaxing. Along with the water. I could have got a video of the bird.
Should we leave him? I'm gonna tell him you said that. I will too, you know that, right?
Unfortunately, one of those people is my ride, so.
But it's okay. He's in good health, right? He can chase us.
I don't know.
If I take off and he starts chasing us, wave at me. I'll speed up, see how fast he can run.
All right, deal.
No. Okay, deal. She's trying to take my job.
I am, honestly.
Well, you're in luck. You didn't have to chase after the tram.
Hey, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
She offered me $10 to leave you behind.
Oh, really?
And he said he'd up at 5. So. Hungry? Yeah. Okay. As you guys are climbing back on, let me just give you a little more information where we just were. This is called the glory hole. And the glory hole is a fisherman's term. Whenever a fisherman goes to the same spot on a regular basis and able to catch fish, they either call it mother lode or glory hole. Johnny Morris named it the glory hole. When he put that name over this, he's explaining to you that this is a great place to go fishing. But notice the rest of the sign over there? No fishing. So he announces it's a great place, but that we can't fish there. This is where Johnny Morris it's kind of known as his public-private fishing hole. Johnny Morris in his life has a lot of people that want to be seen publicly fishing. When those guys come into his life, this is where he brings them to fish. Up in our restaurant, you do not have to eat there to go in. You'll see a lot of photos of very recognizable names and faces of people that's been here in Dogwood to fish. Most all of those photos right along the shore. Now, when Johnny Morris comes here with his close acquaintances in his life, such as former President George Bush Sr., Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, he actually brings a boat. He takes the boat, puts it in the water, takes the boat and goes right back to the waterfall, because right at the mouth of that, right behind the waterfall, we have a cave that goes in 300 feet deep. The water right below the falls is about 12 to 16 feet deep. The trout in there, about 10 to 15 pounds. That's where Johnny Morris fishes, guys, and now you have an idea of why he fishes there. Now remember the two factors for trout thriving. One is air. Waterfall does that. Number two is feeding them. And you guys just fed them more in 5 minutes than they ever will in a week in a regular stream. So Johnny Morris says thank you for making his trout huge for him when he does come. Now this young man has been here later in the year, and you said they're huge in there. Right now, because of all the floods and all the water, those big boys are actually back in the cave. Because they're so big, they don't want to get washed downstream. So they're all back there. The young kids that don't know better, they're out there. They're ones you guys are feeding right now. So we do have an eagle's nest pretty much over top of us. Now, because of the time of the year, it's really hard to see them this time of year. The nest, anyway. It's right up through there. You can't see it from here. We can see it from around the corner. But because this is where their nest is, this is where we see a lot of bald eagles. So you guys need to help me look for them, all right? They're going to be up here in these trees. They do mate for life, right about 5 years of age. Bald eagles do mate for life. They mate right about 5 years of age, which is when they also get that bald head. They stand about 30 inches tall. They weigh between about 8 to 15 pounds. Wingspan is about 7 foot. That's tip to tip. And their life expectancy is close to 30 years. And they fly. Their normal speed is about 40 miles an hour. And near 80% of everything that an eagle eats does come out of the water in the form of fish. And their favorite fish is rainbow trout, which is what we have here in Dogwood. Now, because they live right around the corner, this is their closest grocery store. So the bald eagles, they perch up here in these trees. And then they use their amazing eyesight to scroll the water looking for the perfect size trout for them. Now, I told you they weigh between 8 to 15 pounds. Well, an eagle can only lift half of their body weight out of the water. So they don't like to go to that maximum effort, so a lot of times it's a quarter of their body weight rather than a half. Guys, that's a beautiful photo. We don't have any bikes in there, no walkers, no trams, nothing. It's a clean, shows our bunch of our weirs right in a row here. If you guys want to try to grab that, I'll wait just another second or two. But anyway, the eagles, they use their amazing eyesight to find those trout. And give you an idea, if you and I had eagle eyes, we could climb to the top of a 10-story building, look over the edge down to the ground below us, and we would be able to see and recognize ants crawling on the ground below us. That's how good their eyesight is. Now for my lady on the front row. Just to make sure you understand it, when I say ants, I mean the insect, not your uncle's wife, all right? Now, when they dive into the water for that trout, they dive just shy of 100 miles an hour. So they really clip it off. Now, during this time of the year, bald eagles will eat about 1 trout a day. As it warms up, it'll go to every other day, eventually about 1 every 3 days. Now, we call this our whaling pool because right here on the right, back in 1994, so 3 years before the park was open, Johnny Morris and Waylon Jennings were best friends, and they were working on the park. When Waylon Jennings says, "Johnny, I've never caught a fish before." So right there on the right, that is where Waylon Jennings caught his very first fish. Now, he was 54 years old, guys, before he caught his very first fish. And he did write a song about it. Now, the song is right behind the receptionist up in our grill. And you're welcome to go in there and read that song if you'd like to. Now, this is our turtle bridge that we're coming up to. Now, we call it our turtle bridge because of these rock shapes on the walls, right and left. Now, these rocks, they do in fact look like turtles. The scientific name for them is septarian nodules. They come out of the ground just like you see them right there. And these particular ones came to us from Oklahoma. How do you like our cobblestone bridge? The original plan was to make all of our bridges cobblestone. Well, that was the first one we built and the last one that was cobblestone. All right, that's our imagination rock right there on your right. This came out of our quarry a long time ago. It is heavy, heavy, heavy. So using your imaginations, guys, what do you see over there? Buffalo, cow. Those are all interesting. Sir, you're sitting in a hot spot. Let me tell you why. This is last year. I had a man on my tram. He said the most dangerous thing I ever heard. He started laughing when I pulled up. And so I asked him what he was laughing at. And he said, "That looks just like my mother-in-law." Now, saying that's not the issue, mother-in-law was sitting right behind him. That made it very dangerous. Yeah. Would you guys like to hear about the Native Americans that were here? We know who they are because of those human remains we found. They were called the Wazaji tribe. Well, that's what they called themselves. Wazaji translated means people of the mid-waters. How they greeted people, they would take their hands and they'd open it up wide. That symbolized that they were unarmed. Then they would take their thumb, placing it on their shoulder. When they did that, they were telling to that person they did not consider themselves above nor below, but equal to that person they were greeting. Then they would say, "Huh-wah, huh-wah," which means hello or welcome. They lived in villages of about 100. Whenever the village would get over 100, they would divide it up. They divided it up to protect the food supply surrounding their villages. They were known as bison hunters and farmers. The women and the children, they did their gardening, while the men did the hunting. Now, the men, they hunted with bow and arrow, spears, occasionally a blow dart, and they were also exceptional trappers. Now, they most likely didn't live in Dogwood Canyon because they needed a lot of land for their gardens, so they most likely would have lived on the mountaintops around us. But they certainly would have hunted in Dogwood, no doubt about it. Most likely the human remains are all from hunting accidents. Now, right here on the right, that's where our largest trout was caught. 16 pounds, 7 ounces, 27 inches long. Now, the Wazazis were originally discovered by the French, and they were discovered in the late 1770s. The French were here helping us in our fight for independence from England. Now, in those days, men were a lot shorter than they are now. For example, the average Frenchman stood 5'5" to 5'7". They weighed about 130 to 150 pounds. Now, when they came into the village of the Wazazis, they were so impressed. Now, what they were impressed with is the Wazazis didn't live in teepees, they lived in wigwams. The wigwams were built with sticks, then covered over top with sod from the ground, bark off of the trees, and then pelts from those animals. Now, France did not have animals that they used the pelts for, so they loved those pelts. They wanted to take those back to France, to the king and to their people. So in order to make that happen, a long-term trade agreement, what they wanted, they had to meet with the head chief of the Wazaji. When they met that head chief, man, were they impressed. They said that he was surrounded by warriors that all stood 6'2" to 6'5" and weighed 250 pounds. Now this is our Emerald Falls to our left, and it dumps into our Emerald Pool. Now if you look down there, it does look like our water's changing colors. That's because of the sun that's refracting off of the bottom. The difference in color is the different depth back there. There's our reflection bridge. If you guys want to try to grab a photo, it's pretty nice. Not perfect, but you can see it today. Not every day can you see it. Now, I told you what the warriors look like, but the head chief himself, guys, he stood 7 feet tall and weighed 300 pounds. All of those warriors, they wore their hair in what they call warlock fashion. Now, warlock is when you shave your heads on the sides completely smooth, up above the ears, all the way up to mohawks. Now, kind of mohawks location. Then they spike their hair straight up over top of their head from the front to the back. That spike was about 3 to 6 inches. Now, you want to talk about intimidating? Here you are, 5'5", about 150 pounds, looking up to this man at 7 feet tall with that type of hair. 7 feet, 300 pounds. Oh yeah, that's intimidating. They were able to come up with a long-term trade agreement though. The Wazazis, they wanted horses, farming equipment, guns, gunpowder. The French, they wanted those pelts from the animals and the spices. See this cave right to the right? That used to be our most generous water source. That was before 2017. Well, in 2017, we had a flood. Our flood was so bad that it changed our water flows. It also closed the park for over 6 months. It cost us $7 million to rebuild from the damage. We had a truck and a tram that was sitting in the breezeway, right where you guys got on. And when that flood came through, it washed our truck and tram all the way into Table Rock Lake. Hey guys, we fished it out. I have no idea what bait we used. I just know we fished it out. Now the French, they could not pronounce the name Wazaji. So they used a French word for the same meaning, which was people of the mid-water. Well, that French word, Americans couldn't pronounce that. So there was an evolution of sorts between those words as they transitioned down through the centuries to the name that we use today. That name is the Osage. So it was the Osage tribe that was here years ago. They just weren't called the Osage when they were here. Now here's another rock formation here on our left. This is called dolomite. It is hard, hard, hard. Water does not run through that stuff. It runs over the top. Now see that dripping water on the water there? Well, during the winter, all those drips turn to icicles. And we have 20-foot long icicles here in the wintertime, all the way from the top clear down to the bottom. You guys did bring your passports, right? We're going into a foreign country. We're going into Arkansas. Okay, guys, we are going to climb 350 feet in less than a quarter of a mile. We have 2 sharp turns on the way up. So if you have anything on the floor, like a backpack, water bottle, purse, or a loved one, you want to get those up into your hands as quickly as you can, okay? Are you good? Anybody afraid of heights? Kinda? Just do what I do. I close my eyes on the way up. Works for me. Should work for you. Guys, let's head up into our pasture and see what kind of animals we got up here.
You know, it makes the trip, believe it or not. You heard that.
Now, as we're coming up, let me just tell you a little bit about our animals. First off, Our animals are not pets. Our animals are not tame. But they're not wild either. So, if they're not pets, not tame, not wild, what are they? Well, best way to describe them, their condition. What that means is all of our animals were, well, most of them, they were born right here in Dogwood. Now, since they were born here, they are used to seeing us up here. Sometimes they will interact with us tram drivers. Sometimes they do. That's not necessarily a good thing, guys. But anyways, welcome to Arkansas. Now, I'm going to cross over a cattle guard. When I cross over the cattle guard, rules change. Number one, you cannot step off the tram for anything. If you drop something, I will get it. Don't you reach out to get it. Some of our animals may approach you. If they do not reach out to them at all. Please don't yell at our animals. Don't stomp on the floors. Don't bang on the side of the trams. Nothing like that. I will be here with all of you guys. Now, once I do come to complete stop, you are welcome to stand up and take photos. Just do not step out.
I can already smell some
Now, up
animals.
here on the left, we see our Texas Longhorn. Now, we do have 4 of them here in Dogwood. 2 of them, they're about right at 1 year old now. And then we have 2 more that are about 15 years old. Now, these guys aren't known as the Texas Longhorns, but that is a stolen identity. They are not from Texas. They are actually from Spain. Now, how they got to this part of the world, you got to go all the way back a couple of months ago to the man named Christopher Columbus. Maybe you've heard of him. He took these guys from Spain into the landmass that we now know as Haiti. From there, boats. They took them into Mexico, where they were for a long time. Now, we all know what Mexico's known for, right? Tacos and tequila. Well, apparently there in Mexico, they had a taco and a tequila party. One of those two, we don't know which, they got too much and forgot to close the gates. And these guys got out the gates, right up into Texas, and bingo, the Texas Longhorns. When our babies came here, they were about 6 months old. They did not have names. They had just gotten weaned from mom. So, for the first month, we had guests up here on our trams, and we asked you to help us name our babies. We used our Facebook platform. The names that you gave us for our babies over there, that is Brooks and Dunn. Now, the big boy's laying against the fence. Now, he is such a good-spirited animal. His name is Waylon Jennings. Now, see this one right here? Not so much the same case. This guy is our biggest complainer in the entire park. Now, his biggest complaint is the grass. He does not like this grass. He keeps putting in requests for us to bring him special grass. And the boss said, no, we are not doing that. That is Willie Nelson. Their horns grow about 7 foot tip to tip, guys. Their horns, they never shed them. They are hollow on the inside. They're made of the same thing as our fingernails, so they are very, very light. They never stop growing. The first 5 years of their life is when they grow the most aggressive. So you see the horns on our babies, they're about 1 year old. By the time they are 5 years old, their horns will be about 95% of what the total growth will be. So if they're going to continue to grow after that, they do not grow from the points, they grow from the head. So whatever shape the horn is by the time they're 5 years old, it's going to continue to get longer and longer and longer. But it does grow slow after that. Because of that, sometimes late in life, their horns do get so long that they can touch the ground before their mouths do, sometime, on a few of them. As a whole, the Texas Longhorns have a reputation for being very aggressive. If you drive by a ranch or a farm somewhere and you see a bunch of these guys out in the woods, they're out there out in the forest. Unless the animal knows and recognizes humans, I don't recommend you go in the field, because if they don't recognize you, they can come after you with those horns. It's pretty intimidating. As a rule, humans run about 6 miles an hour. These guys run 25, so it's not worth it. You get that? Now, here in Dogwood, we only have males. The reason being, because females are hard to tame. Very hard to tame. Amen. Yeah. We got the whole group back there cheering that one on. Now, how do you tame the males? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, all of our males are now steers. So, did that help you guys? Yeah, it makes them a little more chill, you know? The big boys weigh about 2,200 pounds, guys. The young guys, we're not even giving you a number right now because they grow so fast. If we got them on a scale, I don't know who'd go out there and read them because they'll knock you off. But anyways, do you guys have any questions for me? Sometimes we have to move them through fences that might be 4 feet wide. Their horns are 7 feet. So how do we get them through that fence? They do it. They see it coming, and they just take their heads and they turn them sideways, and they walk through that gate with their horns along their sides, and then they'll swing their horns right around and cover that gate. They'll only miss the pole by 3 or 4 inches, guys. They know right where their horns are. They're very familiar with them. And sometimes they'll get an itch behind their ear. You know how they do it? They work together. One of them will stand very still, and the other will take its head, and he'll get right over the other guy's horn and actually use it to scratch behind his ear. Any questions? Are you guys ready to head up? All right. Now, here in Dogwood, my nickname, just so you know, is Jurassic Joe. That's what they call me here. It's kind of the way I dress every day. So, and I drive this vehicle a lot, so they do call me Jurassic Joe. So our next pasture, this is 9 acres. The next one's 90. So as we cross over the top, I want you to think about something.
They do travel in herds.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. All right, we'll head up over the hill, guys. This is where our bison and our elk are. And we do have a baby bison. It's about 4 days old, maybe 5 right now. So you'll see this baby up here, we hope. Now, it is their house. So they're going to be where they're going to be. We don't bait them. We don't bring them in anything to get them closer to us. They are just where they are. So let's see if we can find them. Now, if you guys see them, you're welcome to point off in the direction if you see them. They do sometimes try to hide. We do have a loop that goes through the whole park, so we should be able to see them. Sometimes they're right beside us, sometimes out in the middle. Our bison are right down there by the road. Awesome photos for you. And it looks like we got a herd of elk. Awesome photo over there. That does look like the harem of the females. See if we can spot the males. I'm still looking for the bull elk. I haven't seen him yet.
Okay. I was looking way up there.
There they are. I think we got a couple of them down there in the trees. So you guys are in for some really nice photos today. Now, like I said, we do have in our park about 100 bison in the park. About 50 out here where you can see them. The other 50 are on the other side. We have a ranch over here. We actually call it our farm. Now these 50 we have out here, they're entertainment. The ones on the other side, they've been assigned to work in a different department. They're actually working in our kitchen for us. Now they're very committed to that job. They are so committed that if you order bison cheeseburger in our restaurant, guys, they're going to be right there on that plate in front of you. We also have another department over there, and their entire job is to help fill those sausage links that we have in our store. You might say they really get into those sausage links. So now those are the guys that are back over there. Yeah, we have bison ready to go home with you today, guys. Now we're going to pull up These are our females. This is called the harem. This is the females. These are the Rocky Mountain elk. They are the most popular. There are 4 different elk that cover the United States, and these are the most populous. They're the ones that are most often used to bring elk back in. They do weigh about 400 pounds. Their life expectancy is usually about 12 to 14 years. I'll stop right here.
You guys gonna get up? Yeah, you scared of it. Well,
All right, let's guys, just don't move fast. They should stay right there. Hey girls, good morning. Good morning.
What are they called?
Good morning. These are the elk.
No. Oh, elk.
These are the female elk. This is called the harem, when all the females are hanging out together like this. The males, when they're together, they're called a gang, which they are together down the hill. Now, we're not going to stay here very long. We're going to move along pretty quick because I really want you guys to get a chance to see those bison. They're up on the road. Yesterday, they were out in the middle. We missed them. Well, we never missed them. It's just they were so far away. So I really want to get down there and give you a chance to see them. Do you have any questions for me on these girls?
Where did you say the bulls were?
They were down in the bottom.
Oh, okay.
They have horns, right?
Yes, antlers. No. Difference between a horn and an antler. Horn is never shed. Antlers shed. So that's the big difference between a horn and an antler. Okay, you ready? Let's get up here and see the other ones. They're up the road on us. Now, the bison are straight ahead of us. They were just a few minutes ago, so they were moving. So who knows how close they're going to be. Now, when we get up close to the bison, sometimes some of them will approach our vehicle. Please don't reach out to them at all. Yeah, they're actually off of the road now. They're down here towards the left. And then we'll get up here a little bit closer and see if we can check them out. Oh yeah, there's some of them right on the road here. There's our baby sitting right there on your left. I believe they've already been named. All right, now they're not moving, so we are stuck right here, guys. Hey, Mama. How are you? Good morning. I guess it's afternoon. I don't want to confuse them. Oh, yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock, so it's way afternoon. Oh, they have very much different personalities. Now, this female right here, she may come right over here with me. Now, the baby is staring at me, which is kind of cool. Some of the babies, they really like me. They'll come running up to me sometimes. Now, the males, they get up to about 2,000 pounds, while the females, yes, sir, that is a white bison directly in front of us. Only 1 in 10 million are born white. His name is Dakota. His birthday is coming up here real quick. He was born May 15th of 2018. So his birthday's coming up. He's going to be 7 years old.
Where did that little baby go?
Now, he's right there. Now, when the babies are born, they weigh about 50 pounds. He's only about 4 days old right now.
Why is that one more red looking?
He's a white bison. He's wet right now, so he looks a little darker. You see the baby out there now? You can still see the cord hanging from him, from underneath the baby. Now, when the babies are born, they weigh 50 pounds.
Several.
And
Sorry.
when they are born, mom does consume the sac that they're born in really quick. Then, as the baby's laying in front of her, she'll put both of her legs against the side of the baby. Then take her chin. Now, by the way, if you're up here when a mama gives birth, you get to watch and you get to videotape it. I've had 3 different trams up here that's been able to watch a live birth of a bison. So, the mama takes her chin, reaches across, grabs the baby, and holds it against her legs. It's standing up for the first time. We are talking minutes after it's born. Now, she holds it against her legs for just a few minutes. Each mom's a little different. Then she pulls her head away. Now, the baby is standing up on its own, but leaning against mom's legs. Then she slowly steps back away, leaving the baby to stand on its own. Normally, it falls flat on its face. I'm not kidding you. But the baby then knows Mom wants me to stand up. So it's trial and error. Sometimes it'll stand up and both its legs way out like that. Sometimes like this. But in about 30 minutes to an hour later, in that window, the baby is going to be running 30 miles an hour with the herd. They're called red dogs. You see they have that red tint. That is a blessing from God. Now let me tell you why. Bison have no enemies but us. We are their only enemy. However, when they're babies, both the wolf and the coyote would love to get a hold of them. But both the wolf and the coyote are colorblind. And the hardest color for them to see is red. Now, as they grow and get bigger, the red will fade and they'll get the natural color of the bison. Are you guys enjoying this?
Is that a bull elk back on the other side?
Yes, there it is. There are a whole bunch of them over there. I want to, guys, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get our bison to move for us so I can get through them. So be patient. Don't yell at them. Some of them, I'll be watching for the danger signs. The tails tell the tale, okay? So I'll be watching for their tails. As long as they're doing that, they are in a good mood. So I'll let you know when it changes, okay? And then I'll back off from them. All right, this is the time of the year when they shed their fur. This is their shedding of the summer. Of their winter coats. Actually, I'm going to take my coat off in case I got to run. Just kidding. They recognize me more with just this because I'm here like this. And they do recognize their eyesight is not very good, guys. Their hearing is pretty good. Not great. Sense of smell is their most, that's their highest sense, is the sense of smell. So let's get up here and see if we can get close to them. Try to get a move along here a little bit, girls. All of them have horns. Even the baby is going to have horns in about 3 weeks. We just got to get them. Now, if we get some beside us, if they are pinned between us and the fence, guys, just be patient. We just got to keep moving along here. I won't bump them, but they know. Now, Dakota will quite often not allow that. Now, the babies, I told you their horns will come out about 3 weeks old, and they grow straight for about the first 2 years of their life. After about 2 years, their horns will start to curl, which is a sign that they're old enough to breed. That is for both the male and the female. Now, the males, they kind of stay straighter because they do use them for fighting, while the females, they kind of hook over the top, and some of the females get what they call a crown. For example, the females here right in front of us, they have the crown. That's a very elegant thing when it comes to the bison.
He was saying Dakota sometimes will move, and he's going to be on.
Isn't this fun, guys? What an adventure, huh? We just got to get him to move a little bit for us. Now, once Dakota did that, he's kind of a little bit stalemating a little.
That one has a foot that hurts.
Hey, mamas, how are you today, huh? Can you tell your compadres to move over for me, please? Will you do that?
Yeah.
She's not, she's ignoring me.
They know. They have to know.
There we go, guys. Just don't reach out to any of them, guys. Some of them will. They may approach you. Just don't be too aggressive with them. The grunts are telling me different moods, and they're okay. I don't see any of them being angry. There we go. Now, Dakota, he weighs about 1,500 pounds. Dakota is a Native American term. It means friend to many or friend to all.
They stink.
Now, Mama, keep moving. I just want these guys to get a photo. Come on, Mama, don't do this to me, okay? There you go. Thank you, Mother Nature, huh? See the baby, guys?
Going at it. Look at the one
Did you notice Dakota had a small spot on the side?
Oh, they fight.
Yeah.
Even though, now, Mama, don't do it. I knew it. I knew it. Don't reach out to her, guys. I'll have to move her. Oh, you're good.
Hey, do you have any food we can feed them?
No, we don't do that. You don't want that. They can be very aggressive over food. Did you guys see the baby running? Isn't that cool? It's about 5 days old, guys. Aren't you glad your kids don't do that? Now, when you get 2 or 3 of them, which it's not uncommon for us to have 8, 9, or maybe 10 babies. She's the first one born this year. It's not uncommon for them to run in circles. They will run right at each other and kick each other in the side to knock each other down. They roll, get up, and just take off running. All right, let's go see our elk. Are you guys good here? Yeah. Any questions for me on these guys? Isn't this beautiful? These guys, well, we supplement. Normally, these guys are going to eat about 24 pounds of grass a day. Yes. Herbivores. You have got it. About 24 pounds. They have 3 complete stomachs. Cow has 3 compartments. They have 3 stomachs. Totally independent. Yeah, just don't reach out. You got one right at you. I am going to move up, and we're going to see our elk. They'll be right in front of us here. All right, let's go ahead and move on up, guys. Now we have one in the road, so I'm not going to go too far, but now they are growing their antlers back. All right, now the one in front of me is called Strut. He's our oldest, and he's going to move for us. He's pretty much used to us. I'm going to tell you the same thing, guys. Don't reach out to these guys at all. Now, they may get up and move, but usually they don't. I'll get up here and stop, and we'll get out and talk about them a little bit. These are the gang. So this is the males. Notice their antlers, guys. They're growing back. Every year, these guys shed their antlers, and it's done in the earlier in the year when fall starts. Spring. And what changes and makes them fall off is a testosterone change. Guys, I'm going to turn my mic off, okay? Can you guys still hear me okay? Yeah. All right. You see this? That attaches directly to the skull. When they fall off, you see the skull. They don't knock them off. They literally fall off while they're walking along. It's not uncommon for one to be on 2 or 3 days longer than the other one. When this falls off, you see the skull. It's white. It turns full of blood, almost instantly, really quick. Just nature sealing it. Then it turns black, and then the next day, this is going to start to grow back. This is the fastest growing bone, and this is solid bone of any animal in the world. Because I'm going to tell you in just a minute. Now, while it's growing, by the way, the growth rate is an inch to an inch and a half a day. While it's growing, it's covered with skin. Now, see all these lines? Those were blood vessels. So there's a lot of blood pumping up through that antler between the bone, the blood flow, and then that skin. That skin looks like, feels like, it's called velvet. And that's where we're at right now. It's growing. Now, it's going to grow between 3 months to 6 months. You guys can check these out. If anybody's been poaching on their way up, this is your chance to get them back. Okay? And when you're done, just hand it back over your head. Try not to stab them on purpose. Now, they're going to grow now that 3 to 6 months. The length of time for the growth is going to depend on their age, their health, and their size. Now, after that growth stops, then Mother Nature cuts off the blood flow right at the head. When that stops, all the blood that is trapped between the skin and the bone starts to dry out. Then the elk act like it itches. They take their antlers and they rub it against everything they can find. trees, bushes. If you look close, you'll see a lot of our trees that have been kind of filed down. I don't see any right here too obvious, but you'll see them all over. And in the process, look how round they are right now. You see that? Now look at the end product. As they rub that skin off, they sharpen the points. Then the bulls in a herd are going to fight. Now the bulls, the very first year, when they're children, juveniles, they get one spike first year. Second year, they usually get two. Between the third and the fifth year is when they get their big antlers. That is when they become the bulls. The bulls get up to about 500 to 600 pounds. Then, once all that velvet is cleaned off, and we only got a handful of bulls, most of these are the young ones, all these are the young males. The bulls will be these guys here. Now, those guys are going to fight. In nature, they do fight to the death. What are they fighting for? The girls. That was the harem back over there. Now, one of these guys, just one, is going to win the battle. Among the elk, one male mates with all the females. Here, that's 20 to 1. So, when he wins, he's going to separate himself and he's going to bugle. The bugle can be heard 3 miles away, and it takes 4 parts of his body: his stomach, his lungs, his throat, and his nose. That's the mating call. Now, as the females approach that male, they're looking at these. Now, what is it do you think the females are looking at? Size matters. Who said that? A man of wisdom, I can tell. Yeah, size does matter after all, sir. But it's not just size. They want to make sure all these antlers are going in the same direction. If they are, it means during that growth, he was in good health. They also want to make sure that both sides match, because a matching pair means good genetics, offspring, family line. The females are very interested in making sure they have the best possible offspring, so they want to make sure those match. Then the rut season starts. Rut season is going to last between about 3 weeks to a month. No, excuse me, 6 weeks to 8 weeks. Each of the females is going to go into a heat cycle. Her heat cycle is going to last from 24 hours to 3 days. When a female is in heat, she expects the male to service her a minimum of 3 times a day, up to a possible 12 times a day.
Times 20.
Well, they're not all in heat at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of times we do get 6, 7, or 8 in heat at the same time. Do those numbers. Yeah. If you're really thinking about it, that is where the term petered out comes from, just so you know. Interesting, huh?
You want me to do a bugle?
No, because it's not that time of year for these guys. You'll disrupt their concentration. Now, what happens? That male is going to lose 20% of his body weight in about that 6 to 8 weeks. Any questions?
Which one was the dominant last year?
The one last year was this guy over there.
Which one?
Right back over there.
When we were-
Doesn't mean he will be this next year. See this guy? These guys normally live 12 to 14 years. His name is Strut. You can actually see his age. He's pretty old.
one?
He is about 18 years old.
That might have been
Laying
when they
down?
were telling us about
Yeah,
last
Strut. Oh yeah, very, very good. We have Junior. I mean, there's so much unless you see it. We have brothers here that fight.
Are they marked?
Excuse
Do
me?
they have a brand?
No, we do not mark. We do not brand them. We recognize who they are because we're just up here all the time. You notice their ears. A lot of them have a little clip in them. That is for their health. We have a little bar chip in there, so we know if they get injured, if they got any of that stuff. Guys, are you good up here? Did you get enough information?
Yes,
We
sir.
are only 10 minutes late. Yeah. Are you guys all good?
I have a question.
Sure.
When the antlers come off, if you were touching your head, is it soft?
No, it's going to be hard, just
No,
like
not
this.
on the antler, on the head. It will be hard to.
Never gone up there and tested it, so,
Well, I would
but I
think-
will find out,
Yeah,
because
because
I
it
study.
seems like because of the blood pressure, that we're going to be almost like a fontanelle
Yeah.
for baby.
Baby?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it seems
You're
like.
trying to take my job, you're a look.
And
Serious.
I like questions, because I'm gonna research it, I do.
Okay, yeah,
I research every day.
yeah.
Um,
Well, you can very good.
On our way back, would you guys like to hear what happened to the Osage? Why they left here? Where they went?
Yeah.
Why they left? And where they are today? Okay, let me do that first.
one real quick question.
Sure.
Is it true that other animals eat the antlers to get the calcium or whatever?
The black bear is one of them that does. Mice love them. They're all kinds of, they just love them. We have open trucks. And here in Dogwood, we park our trucks up in we have a shop where we park everything indoors. It's not closed. We don't seal the building up. But if we leave an antler in the back of our truck or the back of our tram, we come in the next morning, chunks of it are gone. Squirrels will get in there. It's got a lot of calcium and it's got a lot of protein in it, which is why the black bear actually looks for it and goes out to get it. So, and I will talk about the black bear a little bit today too. Does that work? Yep. All right. There was about 20,000 of the Osage that resided here in the Ozarks. The Ozarks is 47,000 square miles. It covers 4 states. Those 4 states being northern Arkansas, where we are right now, and then southern Missouri, which we're heading to, then a corner of Oklahoma and a corner of Kansas. Well, there was about 20,000 of the Osage that resided in those villages of just less than 100. And settlers started coming into the area, and there was encroachment on land. The encroachment was causing bloodshed on both sides. There was no massacre, but the confrontations were becoming more often and more aggressive. So our federal government came here to see if the Osage would be willing to sign a peace treaty, which they didn't. They were very friendly as a rule. They didn't want the battle, so they were happy to sign a treaty. But that treaty required them to surrender their land here in the Ozarks, and our government relocated them to the state of Kansas, southeast corner of Kansas. They were put on about an 8 million acre ranch or reservation there. Now, if you ride your bike or hike through Dogwood, this is the end of the line. From the breezeway to here, it's 3.5 miles, and you do climb about 110 feet. Since this is the end of the park, we put these beautiful golden rainbow trout in here for you. This is to say thank you to everybody that got this far. Now, because these guys have that bright yellow color, they are very vulnerable to predators. They are not a hybrid. They are a novelty fish for us. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's hard for us to keep these guys in here because, guys, they are so bright colored. Predators find them so easy. Most common predators that we lose them to is the river otter and the minks, which we have quite a few here in Dogwood. A river otter will eat up to 1/3 of its own body weight each day, and that's what they like to eat. So we lose them a lot. You guys ready to move up? All right. So the Osage were there. Now that land in Kansas was actually for farming. I told you they were farmers as well as hunters, and they loved it there. And they were there for just over 50 years when the settlers started encroaching on their land there in Kansas as well. And once again, bloodshed was happening between the settlers and the Osage. So the Osage went to our government for assistance with the bloodshed. Now this is our blue streams here on the right. We have to have a pond above it. And here on the left is our trapper's cabin. Now this was built in the early 90s. When Johnny Morris decided to turn Dogwood into a nature park, he wanted a building to use to observe the progress of Dogwood. He didn't want just any building, he wanted something unique. Well, this is a duplicate of a home they found in New Mexico. So they had a duplicate built here. Now, once they got the framework done, they actually went to the original house in New Mexico, convincing them to sell them the front door, which is the one in the middle, and the window to the right and to the left, which, by the way, if you walk up there, guys, they are very ornate. They're 100 years old plus. Very, very cool. Purpose for the building now, guys. Johnny Morris does carry a key in his pocket. He never lived there, but he does visit once in a while. The only way you get in that building is by invitation. I've been lucky to be in there, so let me tell you what it looks like. Guys, you've been to Bass Pro, right? Well, put Bass Pro on steroids and then multiply it times 10, and that's what you got in there. Well, when the Osage came to our government and said, listen, we've got more deaths of the settlers are encroaching on our land, and our government said, wait, what do you mean your land? And the Osage said, yes, this is our land, we traded you, and we have that treaty to document it. And our government said, no, we did not trade you land. And the Osage said, yes, we discussed trading land. And our government said, well, it doesn't matter what we discussed. The only thing that matters is what was put on that treaty. And the treaty says it is not your land. That we said you were allowed to live on our land until we wanted it back. Well, obviously, the settlers are coming here. They want the land. So, you Osage, you got to get off the land. Well, the Osage had nowhere to go. And they told our government that. Our government didn't care. They said, well, we don't care. You have nowhere to go. You just got to get off our land.
No, he's radio.
Yeah, it's on the radio. I got it warned. I was warning people were coming. They're watching out for us. So, guys, welcome back to the Show Me State. Well, the Osage, they finally told our government, you lied to us and you cheated us. And since you lied to us and cheated us, we're not moving. If you want us off this land, you are going to have to come in here and physically remove us. Well, our government did evaluate that, and they decided they didn't want to do that. So instead, they gave them an offer, a cash offer for their land. Now, look to your left, guys. I want you to notice the stream running beside us. Now, notice it's starting to dry out. Now, this is called karst, K-A-R-S-T. It is hollow. It is the same rock structure that I showed you on that wall. Now, the rain has got a little bit of it running over the top, but it is running down through, ending up getting trapped down on the bottom. And here on the left, you'll see the water coming out from underneath. That's called a table right there. Now, the Osage, when our government, now by the way, the offer our government made for their land was not a good offer, not in my opinion, but the Osage, they did accept it. And with the money, they went out to look for their own land to buy. Now, when they went shopping, they wanted to make sure they bought land. Hey, Nancy. Guys, this is a private tour. Let me tell you about that. If you've been through Dogwood multiple times, then that's the way to go. When you do a private tour, you get a tram driver. I do them. You also get a Jeep, so you're indoors, no rain, no heat. And you get the same tour that you get on the tram, plus you go off-road into some of that land that we've added. It is a single fee, so it does not care how many people you get in there. I think we cap it off at 3 adults, but you can get 4 in there. You just got to get your tram driver to okay it. All right, getting back to the Osage. When they were looking for their land, guys, they wanted to buy land that they knew our government would never want back. So they wanted the most ugliest, deserted land they could find. So they ended up buying land in the territory of Oklahoma. Well, they were there for 22 years when they discovered oil on that land. Isn't that cool, guys? Well, it kind of is. When our government found out they had discovered oil, they came to the Osage and they said, listen, when you bought this land, you did not buy the mineral rights. So you do own the land, that's the trees, the rocks, the dirt, but that oil, that don't belong to you. That belongs to the United States of America, not to the Osage. So the Osage fought back in court, guys. That court battle lasted 9 years. After 9 years, the court said it is, in fact, the Osage's lock, stock, and barrel. Barrel was in reference to the oil. And pretty much overnight, the Osage, they became the wealthiest tribe in the entire country. That was then, not now. Too many tacos. All right. Well, we got Barry coming up. Now the Osage, the leaders, they'd always been poor, so the leaders, they said, we're going to share the money equally with our entire tribe. Didn't matter if you were married, single, old, young, everybody got equal money. They didn't know how to spend the money, and they were wasteful. They were, that's fair. But you know what? It's their money, right? Spend it the way you want. Our government doesn't feel that way. So our Congress passed a law. And that law required the Osage, every one of them, to find a financial advisor to help them spend their money more importantly. Hey guys, how are you? Hey guys, you having fun? Good.
Have a good one, Joe.
You too, Barry. Now, so those advisors, they found out by the Osage rules that if you marry an Osage Indian, either as a husband or a wife, you were instantly given full tribal membership with meant equal shares. And you know what that did, right? Well, that word spread throughout Oklahoma. And the female Osage tribe, boy, did they get beautiful. And those males, oh, so handsome. Before long, even the ugly Indians got married because everybody wanted the money. Well, then greed set in. The greed included murder and manipulations. There was so many that our federal government put together a special investigation team and sent them there to Oklahoma. That team was called the Federal Bureau of Investigations, or the FBI. Their very first case was in 1906, and that was with the Osage tribe. Now, there's a book out there. The name of the book is called Killers of the Flower Moon, and there's a movie that came from that book, same title, Killers of the Flower Moon. I do recommend it. Guys, a lot more information about the Osage, but we are running out of time, especially if I'm going to talk about the black bear here a little bit for you. Got to go to the radio for a couple of calls, guys. right, let me jump on the black bears. Now, the reason each day I come to the park with an animal in mind. We have that list is 21 animals, and I can talk about each one of those about 20 to 30 minutes. Got another tram coming up, so we're going to let this guy get through here. Oh, they're going to pull over for us. How cool is that? Here in Missouri, we have between 8 and 1,200 black bears. Their population is continuing to grow. Hey, Mr. JR. At a rate of about 8 to 10% each year. Now, the name black bear has absolutely nothing to do with the color of the bear. It has to do with the habitat. Here in Missouri, we have red, brown, even a few blonde black bears. The habitat for the black bear is they're going to hunt in a primary area of about 5 to 10 square miles. They are omnivores, which means they'll eat meat as well as vegetation. Their first choice in food is succulent plants. That's their first choice. They do eat a lot of grasses and weeds and stuff like that, a lot of flowers. That's first choice. Second choice for them is actually going to be ants and termites. Black bears have a very sticky tongue, and that aids them in eating those ants and termites. Their third choice in food is kiron. Now, kiron is leftover carcasses from other animals that are bones, just like the antler shed that we were just talking about. Give you an idea, the bite strength of a black bear. You and I, our bite strength's about 110 pounds per square inch. A wolf coyote, about 300 pounds per square inch. And the black bears, closer to 800 to 900 pounds per square inch. So their bite strength, they can eat those antlers just with no problem. Their third choice in food is going to be other animals. They'll start with fish and then they move up the ladder. One of the things that they like a lot of is the white-tailed deer. Black bears are actually a lot faster than you may think. I know it's been, some of the stories are that if you see a black bear run downhill, they can't run downhill. Oh yeah, they can. They're faster than humans. A lot faster than us. Don't climb a tree, because they will climb a tree faster than you and I will as well. Now, human death caused by black bears are very rare. We've been keeping track since 1900, and in that time frame, it's about every other year that there's a human death. There was a death May 5th in Florida. There was a man and a dog. He was a pretty old, I think 89 years old. So rare, does happen. Usually the time when humans get killed by black bears is during the mating season. Now that's in mid-June through the month of July. Black bears, both the male and the female go out in pursuit of mates. That is when they leave their 5 to 10 square mile range. Now they are so pursuant on a mate that they forget to eat. So all of a sudden they realize they are hungry. I'll get more. If you guys want to get a video or a photo of the water, it's right here on your left. Now, by the way, black bears are very promiscuous. They will mate with multiple males during that 6 weeks. Multiple partners, both the male and the female. Now, all of a sudden, the black bear realizes they're hungry. They haven't been eating. All right, we just saw headlights. I didn't know what vehicle's up here. We're okay. Now, when the black bear realizes they're hungry, they use their sense of smell to find food. Now, when there is no wind at all, a black bear can smell food a mile away. When there is a little bit of wind, they can smell food about 5 to 6 miles away. When there is a breeze, they can smell food 21 miles away. The most common food that they look for is going to be people's garbage cans. Well, the reason a lot of humans die is because those black bears try to get into people's garbage cans. And we humans, we see them in our garbage. For some reason, we want our garbage back. We grab brooms and handles and go out after the black bears, and it causes our death. That's how a woman in California lost her life. Now, the mating or the breeding season or the gestation time is 7 months, 260 days. Black bears do hibernate. The females go into hibernation mid-November, while the males, they go into hibernation in mid-December. Now, it is not the cold that makes black bears hibernate. It is a lack of vegetation. They need to eat 10,000 calories a day. They do that with vegetation. I'll give you an idea how much that is. You and I, we consume about 2,500 calories a day, while the black bear about 10,000. So that's why they go into hibernation. Now, mama's going to give birth while she's hibernating to those new black bear cubs. The most common is between 1 and 3, and the most common being 2. Now, they're born in mid-February. The male black bear here in Missouri gets up to about 500 pounds, while the females, now they have a wider range of about 150 to 350. Up in our nature center, we do have 2 black bears in there. One's a male, the big one, and one's a female. You can tell the difference between them, obviously. Now, when those black bear cubs are born, now guys, I was very lucky. I was able to hold a baby black bear about a week old. When I held that black bear cub, guys, it fit in the palm of my hand. It weighed between 6 and 8 ounces. It was blind, it was hairless, and was pretty totally dependent on mom. Guys, we are running out of time, so we're going to get through here and let Mr. Virgil get by. Thank you, Virgil. Guys, some nice photos here on your right and your left. Well, guys, we are actually 6 minutes late, so I hope you're not mad at me. Guys, I hope you had fun today. I hope you got a little bit of an education, some nice photos, and all that good stuff to go with it. Now, if you feel I've done a lot of effort and done a good job for you, there's several ways you can say thank you. One of them is, if you'll look on the seat right in front of you, except the front row, you don't have a sign there, sorry. One of those ways is reviews. Now, if you'd like to do a review on me, you're welcome to. Now, if I've done a good job, my name's Joe. If you're going to complain about anything I said or didn't say, my name is Peggy Sue. All right? I don't need any more bad reviews. I also recommend that slow motion video back over on your right. Also, I did have you put your phones on airplane mode. Now would be a good time to get them off. We do have Wi-Fi available. It is DWC, and just sign in as guest. It's public. It's called public.
What's it called?
And you're welcome to use it. Now, I do recommend our restaurant. Now, first off, let me tell you, we do not have good cooks in our restaurant. We have great chefs. Big difference, guys. Now, if you do find yourself in a restaurant, if you tell them that you were on my tram the last 2 hours, guys, they're going to offer you liquor right away. That'll help to calm your nerves having ridden with me for 2 hours. Now, don't forget you got that brand new kitchen cabinets coming your way by checking this out here on the right. Up here in the Nature Center, you're going to find all kinds of other stuff, all kinds of educational things. Now, guys, we do close today at 5 o'clock, so please don't jump off the tram just yet. Now, straight through these double doors to the right, you're going to find stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, you will find our store. And right to the right of those stairs is where you're going to find those bison just ready to go home with you guys. Please don't jump off yet. A little bit more information for you. Closest